I think you have a great contrast in the last 2 days between the meeting in Helsinki and today the Fed chairman being up on the Hill. And I think the investors are looking to the latter, not the former. They're looking past politics, they're looking to economics and economic data. And the Fed chairman paints a rosy picture of the economy. Fundamentals are good, economic data that comes out is good. So I think investors are worried about, in the back of their minds, they're worried about what was said in Helsinki, but they don't see a follow-through to the global economy or the domestic economy. So I think they're able to separate and compartmentalize both of them and really go with the economic picture, which is quite positive.
Kim, let me turn to you and get maybe a little bit of a history lesson. My notes point out that in 1972, when Watergate began, and I don't mean to draw anything other than sort of the most circumstantial of comparisons to Watergate, but it was certainly a case when a White House was taking a lot of criticism and flack, including from people in its own party. The markets were able to motor along reasonably well until they couldn't anymore.
That's right. You know, once again, the lesson is there's a difference between attempting to price headline or political risk and pricing event risk. And so when it comes to things like trade tensions, and certainly when it comes to the work the Mueller team is conducting around the 2016 election, there's not anything tangible for markets to price. Whereas, as was noted, the chairman today of the Fed gave a very supportive picture of the economy, in part to rationalize his continued push for raising rates. But he also added a bit of caution by using the phrase "for now" a few times. I would say until you have some evidence that what was discussed in Helsinki and the reaction thereto, along with Mueller's work, until that becomes more tangible in terms of the risk to markets, it won't be priced in. As you alluded, equity markets didn't begin selling off until the middle of January in 1973, on the day that McCord's trial started. That was the evidence they needed that something awry was going on. That loss of confidence in the White House persisted through many years for a lot of different reasons, but the lesson to be drawn is once you lose confidence in the White House and the structure we have currently in the world economy, it takes a lot going right for a long time to restore that confidence.
Brian, are we close to that point in so much? I mean, you had made the point that there's sort of two different spheres. There's the geopolitical and what's going on there. There's the economic. What's going on, the economic is going quite well here in the United States, so there's no fear. Are we at a point where those two spheres are close to colliding in that the president may be squandering some of his political capital by doing what he's doing on the geopolitical stage and losing some of the support within his own party for other efforts such as tax reform 2.0, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, I understand Kim's point, and I think it's valid to a point. I think a comparison to the Watergate era is goes only so far because it was a different era. You had Vietnam. You were going into an inflationary era, so the economic picture was also quite different. So yes, I think you have to look at the political situation and the legal situation of President Nixon at the time in the context of what was going on globally and economically. I don't see the President Trump, being in legal jeopardy at this point. Yesterday was a diplomatic mistake. It was a problem for U.S. geopolitical standing and moral authority of the United States, but it was not a legal issue that puts him in any kind of jeopardy in the future, even if Democrats win the Congress in 2018. I think the better comparison is probably the Whitewater situation of the 1990s, where the markets would fluctuate from time to time, but really got through the political drama fairly well. The economy was good.
Okay.
The markets were good.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.